rolling. It's the ESL Open League, America's round of 16. Kappa Wolves and FKC Insane Vultures. Where are we going to go on game number 1? Not entirely too sure off the top of my head. According to the logs, Haunted Mines was banned out. Garden of Terror, Tomb of the Spider Queens, kind of all the smallish maps. Blackheart's Bay, which the NA really just does not like playing. Oh, that makes a great pattern. Look at that. Dragonshire, and then it came down to one of the two big ones, and it will be Cursed Hollow for our picks and bans to begin. So you're probably going to be looking at Vikings as a picker ban, Sylvanas as a picker ban, and Anubrak as a picker ban, because all three of them are just absolutely insane on this map. And let's find out. Let's find out. The Kappa Wolves and the FKC first pick and ban. It's going to go the way of Kappa, so we'll start off on blue. And they ban out the Vikings. Not really surprised. They are absolutely insane on this map. Kael'thas to be the return. The FKC Insane Vultures do not want to deal with the big potential burst from a Kael'thas. Not a really terrible way to go. First pick, just like what we saw for the Uther ban, is supports a really kind of hot ticket item. So the first pick here from the Kappas are going to be Brightwing. And from there, FKC Insane Vultures said that they wanted Sylvanas. Kind of funny how we kind of said that those would be the picks and bans. But it's just really hard to give up the ladies of the storm right now. These lovely ladies. Sylvanas and Jaina to be joined with the Brightwing. All female so far. It is a good time to be a ranged damage dealer with a bow or a staff, or to be a fairy dragon, or to be a non-human. It really kind of comes down to, like, Zagara, another lovely lady of the storm. But I digress. Uther is going to be the big pickup here, and this is where it all comes together. Uther, Brightwing, double support has to be an Odin. The Betrayer was not prepared, but still with double heals, taking away not only the Uther for the Divine Shield, but now the Brightwing as well. Likely to be an Emerald Wind, if I have to guess anything. Both cleanses are on the Kappa Wolves here as well. It's a phenomenal kind of early game pickup to go with such a huge game changer like this Illidan. FKC needs to kind of get some lockdown here. I mean, Jaina will slow, won't stop. The Sylvanas will silence, but it still won't stop. We need some lockdown, and it does look like lockdown will be on the way. Mirrodin and the big man with the gun, Tychus. If you ever see an Illidan, it is a very good response to go Tychus, because you can just kite him out a little bit, overkilling slow potential. The overkill will keep and follow the Illidan as he engages. The grenade is really good there as well. And then, of course, you go laser, and that Illidan is not going to be fighting around you. I'll guarantee you that. So a really nice pickup with the Tychus. The problem is, what kind of heals can the FKC actually go on about it? I mean, the Brightwing and the Uther, the big things played in North America, so we're kind of down to Rhaegar or Malfurion, and you just don't got the kind of solid grouping, I feel, with FKC. It really comes down to what the Kappa wants to do right here, and it does look like Tyrael is going to be up on the menu, so that is a big dive comp right there. Judgment in for a Metamorphosis. Good dive buddies together, and Falstad to go into the back line. No Vala. I am rather shocked. There is a no Vala pickup here from Kappa Wolves. So Falstad is going to be the bigger. Does that say Sky Temple? It does say Sky Temple. There you go. Cursed Hollow. Because we're not going to Sky Temple. I am a little shocked because we already have the Brightwing for the global presence. You don't really see too much of ETC, and FKC needs a healer anyways. But with the double winged presence of the Kappa Wolves, so a lot of global to be had here on Cursed Hollow for the Kappas. And some really good, actually, frontline uploaded damage, or upfronted damage here with that Falstad. Not only can we throw out the hammers, but we can keep a W on top of the diving dwarf, or we can fly into the back line and keep the lightning rods on one of the DPS, or the healer. And speaking of the healer, Malfurion will be the pickup for the Insane. I'm not entirely too sure how well we can protect this Malfurion. The Illidan's just going to get into that, and the only real big lockdown we have is the Mirrodin. And the Mirrodin is likely not to be on defense. He's likely to be off in the front line on the offense, trying to keep their healers at bay. So Illidan, I feel like, is going to have a little bit of a field day into the back, especially with the Judgment, Hinterland's Blast. That's the crispy taco right there. And then Metamorphosis, double heals on the back of it to combat Malfurion. Malfurion's a great pick for the sustain war, but I'm not entirely too sure he will be able to keep himself up with such little crowd control to the name of the FKC. So we'll have to see how they do. As we're going to jump into game number 1, which confirms does load. Bam. Confirmed does load. Jester's awesome. And we're going to be jumping right on into it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And yeah, overlays away. Kappa Wolves and FKC Insane Vultures, which just barely fit, but hey, they still fit. So that's good stuff right there. Take a quick look. King Plato. Yeah, King Plato. Araragi, Barcode, Apollo. Let's go with Apollo. And Michael Udo are going to be making up your Kappa Wolves. And on the flip side, Gizmo, Kyo, Zarathustra. Cool. D Blank and Neo are going to be making up the FKC Vultures, who are apparently from Brazil. Brazil is technically part of South Americas, and this is the Americas, which means that they do get included. So it's a team from Brazil up against some of the entries that we know and love. Barcode has been around forever. Araragi, of course, I believe was SK Gaming, is now looking for a new home. Could have found it here on the Kappa Wolves. And Michael Udo, who's nowhere to be found in that cluster, is bottom lane with the Ilden, and of course Michael Udo from a little bit of the Heroes of the Dorm fame. So what do we got for? We don't have any game sounds, do we? Bam, game sounds for you. What do we got for some of the lanes? Look like Tychus drew the short straw up top. The double support lane for the Falstead. I guess that's really the best split you could ask for. And them going top, FKC, of course, did not expect that to happen. But they do actually have their own support down here with the Jaina and the Sylvanas. So Michael Udo not really going to be able to do anything up against this. You can already see the transitions now happening. Falstead is saying, yeah, got to come down here, got to support Michael. We got the Brightwing here as well, so that will leave us with Uther into the top for that Tychus. They need to try to curb down some of the damage that this Sylvanas can present, and you can already see half the ammo already gone, multiple hit points now already missing out here because of the Jaina as well. So the transition is good. Udo will try to get into the back. D-Blank is a little off to the side, but it's a bit too early to be counting our chickens. There's that lightning rod on top of Malfurion. You're likely to see King Plato just try to keep them in that range so that they can already get all those shots up. Mid is a little bit of a wet noodle fight, although they are a little bit low on the hit points. Kyo, if he plays this right, will be able to just kind of outdo Apollo here, just simply because of that second win trait. But you never know. A clutch shield is a clutch shield, and we'll have to see where they go. Big damage landing into the bottom lane. Michael Udo and crew is about to lose that tower, and that will be a nice little bump of experience. You can see it here visibly as level 4s will be coming into it. Nothing to really report top. Mid is still kind of, they're low, but they're not low. The tanks are deceptively hard to check out. Now, King Plato is going to come up here at the 215 mark, and that's why. So he flies up, Zed in from the Barcode. That is a bribe. About to try to talk about the talents. There it is, that bribe. So I was kind of curious what Plato was going to do by himself, and this is because of the tribute spawner. Pretty much on point, but it is bottom, and we just flew top. So we're going to have to hoof it down manually. What has happened in the bottom lane, though, is that we've lost out the gates. And that's a pretty big bump of experience. As I said, level 5 now, but we do got 4 on both sides. So this could be anybody's tribute at this point. We got Brightwing to actually trade spots with Uther into the top. I think it's a good idea. Uther actually is just going to find Q there in the mid. And nobody's really rushing for the tribute. And I like that. Nobody really wants to kind of show their cards. There are still a lot of people there in the lanes. Apparently, Jaina didn't have any mana there either, so she's going to head on back. But D-Blank, he has no way to escape this. Apollo with the body blocks. We got King Plato with those auto attacks and that lightning shield. It did a great number, took out the Malfurion, and that put up enough pressure to put the first tribute into the pockets of the Kappa Wolves. Now, we almost had the return kill there on top of Apollo. I don't know what Neo wants to get done there, but you barrel roll forward there with that lightning strike, and Plato's single target damage at this point will be greater than that of the Sylvanas. So you see a quick 2 kills going to the way of the Kappa Wolves. They do tie up basically the experience without actually taking any of those towers. It is simply because of those kills. That's really great for them. And they tag team straight to Michael Uda as he's going to go off and do some mercenaries. That's exactly what you want to be doing at the level 4, level 7 range with your Illidan, especially if lanes are just not going to be any good to you. Gizmo and Barcode were not part of that fight as well. And speaking of Gizmo, level 4, Melting Point, level 7 with the first aid. So sometimes we do see overkill builds. You see it more in Europe than you see here. North America is absolutely in love with Melting Point. And that will be another tower to the name of the FKC. Good stuff there. Second tribute, bottom. Micro is going to be down here, but again, we're just getting the numbers game going. 4-on-4 and a good body block and back attack from Apollo. Michael Uda with that first aid very nearly going down, but the double support comes in, and good luck ever killing that Illidan. There goes the dwarf, and the body blocks are good for Neo. 4-man wipe at this second tribute of the game, 8 minutes in, and we overtake the FKC with that experience lead. Once more, Gizmo was not part of the fights. He was off doing other things. 2 tributes means, yeah, with that wipe, everyone's basically coming back into the lane, but we have a lot of time before people can even try to contest out a boss. And an early boss, this early, it's not going to get much done, but it's basically there and ready for the team of the Kappa Wolves. I mean, there's no one here to contest it. You got your double support. Illidan by himself can almost solo it by the end of it, all things. So Gizmo up top soaking. That's actually smart. You really need to make sure you stay on top of this experience, especially for this third tribute coming up. We need to try to race to 10, and it does look like the Kappa Wolves will get there first, but that doesn't mean we have to slack here from Insane, because they cannot afford to give up this next tribute for free. Otherwise, they will be cursed. But that's going to be a free kill on top of Zara Stustra, or whatever his name was. Jaina going to be going down once more. Anything big? Note level 7's Gusty Healing. We do got the Cleanse. It is Secret Weapon, the hammer build from King Plato. So the Secret Weapon likely to be level 16. Will be, I don't actually remember the name of it. Wow! The stun and the deletion. Hinterland's Blast with the level 10. Tychus was not expecting that one. Is it me, or is there no tribute yet? There's just no tribute. But with that kill top, it was a really nice roam there from Araragi coming out, getting off that stun, deleted the Tychus. He's going to be out of the picture, and the second boss is now coming down. How much work did that first one get done? Not much. I kind of knew that, and I kind of told you that. But we do got Bruisers now pushing in mid. The problem is, again, nobody seems to have any idea where the Kappa Wolves are. They're level 10. We did actually now equalize out the 10s as well. Great silence arrow into the back. There's the Emerald Wind at a clutch pivot point there as well. Keeps the Insane Vultures at bay. The Judgment is going to in, and they will take down this Tychus. He did throw down the laser. So again, he's really playing very smart with that. But the roots, the invulnerability, they just do not have an answer for this Illidan into the back. King Plato off to the side, double heals as well. Lots of healing to go back and forth. And Michael once more will actually walk away out of this one. 2 for null, and it does look like the third curse actually will finally go over to the Kappas. I actually did speak a little too early on that one. It will be a 2-for-1 trade, but still, it's so close to taking out Illidan, but the double supports do bring it forward and true. There is that big top boss and a curse for it to be working through. There goes the fort, and we are going to be just splitting up. Nice bribe coming out there from Barcode. So again, more merc pressure. We don't actually have the Bruisers to take. We do have Giants. We might make a play for them in a little bit here. But at the same time, we still have 30 seconds here on the curse. Bottom lane, King Plato, it does look like he's actually going to be chasing down Neo. And once again, a great Hinterland's Blast. Sylvanas, nowhere to go and no escapes for it. And that's 2 for 2 on point with those Hinterlands. So great burst, great sustain. The single target damage is real. So Secret Weapon, again, I'd be very interested to see what the level 16 will be here. For our Falstad. Judgment going in. Kyoa is actually going to drop low. Michael Uda into the back. Metamorphosis will try to follow the dwarf. They will get the kill on Jaina as well. And over the wall with Uda. He does not have an escape plan here except survive. And now, they got Barcode on the other side of that. But they do demolish out the wall. The curse does come back up. And this will be keeping FKC off to the side. Silence arrow goes down. Does find it on top of Barcode and Apollo. And unfortunately, that seems to be it. There's no real kind of follow-up there. Kyo is just way too far forward. Avatar is going to be there. But the auto attacks from the Falstead are real. And of course, the Illidan is the chase master. He does once more get another kill. And that will put us at level 13-12. What were the 13 talents as we go into it? Sprint, the Sixth Sense. We got Giant Killer, so it is very much a big auto attack. King of Plato here from our Falstead. And Imposing Will. That is going to play havoc on not only the Tychus, but the Sylvanas and that Mirrodin as well. Wasn't a big rush for the Giants here during the curse, but the Giants are now going to be forfeit over to the Kappa Wolves. And this is basically just keeping FKC on their side of the map. We did take this early boss, but guess what? It's coming back up in 60 seconds. So not only did we get the early boss and the push, we got the second boss and the curse, and now we should be in a prime position here for a third boss. And the pressure will be mounting. That won't be a keep, I don't think. It's just way too early in the game for the boss to kind of trudge down that. But we're up 13 kills, 1. We're up level 14 to 13. This next tribute should be spawning sometime in the next 60 seconds or so. And here's the crispy taco. That is a very dead tank. Mirrodin might be able to sustain, but he will not be able to survive that kind of burst. And Barcode, wow. He went right in, he got off the Emerald Wind, and he will get that kill on top of the Tychus. In goes, of course, with the Metamorphosis. Low hit points on Udao, but he will come back out of this one swinging once more. The double supports are just doing wonders. And it looks like that will be 1 fort down. Here's the next tribute. It's bottom lane. Guess what's also there? That boss is ready to go. We do got pings on top of this Bruiser, but hey, if there's not really any kind of big defense, why would you not go for this keep? And that's what we're seeing right here. Big Lightning on top of Kyo does not have that Hinterlands ready to go as of yet, so they will hold a little bit of damage, a little bit of pressure, using their Bruisers here as well to push on top of the keep. But the Kappas are just pushing. They're pushing and pushing. They need their 16 if they want to really take this fight. If they lose out Apollo, that is going to be absolutely devastating for them. But on the flip side, the FKC Vultures, they really do want to try to fight this level 13 to 15 before that 16 does come into play. They almost take down Araragi. The Judgment into the back. They do take down the Tychus, the Tyrael. My apologies, but the Tyrael will blow up. Michael Udao is still somehow living. Gust of Healing is going out. The attacks, the first aid, and Michael Udao once more will live through the Tychus onslaught. King Plato will take him down for the kill. Big Divine Shield, and Mirrodin will die mid-hop. Do we actually have that meta? We do, and he's going to go for it. He's going to go for the deep lane, but unfortunately that's into the core, and the core does hurt significantly this early into the game. 16s have now been achieved. Double blood for blood. We do got the overdrive, so it's not going to be the stun hammer. The overdrive is what I really do like to see when it comes to the Falstead, like 25% more on the Hinterlands. Like, you take the Hinterlands for the burst. And if you recall, we did have a tribute spawn way too long ago. So finally, it's going to get a little bit of attention. Michael Udao's going to take it, put it in his pocket, likely go for boss. We do got the Tyrael here in position, the Falstead there as well. No, I think they're actually going to try to contest this top one. Or are they actually just going to do this? They don't really seem to have an idea. There's nobody on the map, and with both bosses, you can almost assume both teams will see that they are going to be doing their bosses. You're about to see the top caps, now you see the bottom. So yeah, going for the bosses at 12 minutes. The top one will tear through the fort, especially if it's supported a little bit, but it does not look like that's going to be the case, because these guys have an idea that the bottom boss is going to be coming their way. We do have a gate. It's likely not to take keep. This one will get to gate. I'm unsure if it'll actually kill it or not. Might actually kill off the gate. We don't have any defense coming up from the Kappas. They are full on 100%. Let's fight. We got level 16. Shrink Ray, Judgment, Michael Udao on top of Zerstra into the back. And that Jaina is a big target. And big damage comes out from that pulse there once more. The overdrive, Hinterlands, she gets deleted. Neo's on the wrong side of this one. The Ellie, the Elemental, is continuing forward. But Kyo is just going to jump and die once more. Falls to pieces mid-air. Apollo might go down. The Tychus is really starting to tear away at those hit points, but the double support is strong. What are these golems doing? Top is starting to work on that gate. Bottom is going to get to the keep, likely still not to take it down. But with these giants to add to this push bottom lane, plus the fact that the team is still here, this is pretty much a guaranteed keep. They don't really care about this top one. Top one is not going to get a keep. Might take the fountain, but that's about it. And with such a staggered defense number, Udo goes in. He's just going to evasion out a lot of these attacks. Maybe not enough of them. He will actually drop. Zarathustra was able to pick up that kill. But there goes the keep. The bosses are down. We still got Stone Bros working on this tower as well. It's going to be more experience into the pocket here of the Kappa Wolves. Kyo jumps forward. He's looking for that fight, but he can't quite find it. Now, the big news is that there's another tribute here on the map. So that's going to be the big objective. And the Vultures, they're going to want to try to contest this, I feel. They can't afford to give up every single tribute. They should have their heroics coming up in fairly short order. Yeah, 5 seconds. Fortunately, they just don't have the positioning for it. They have the numbers because it's 4-on-4 and there's no Illidan. That's the big thing for them here. Could they actually catch the kill on top of Apollo? Finally, a Hinterland's Blast that doesn't actually result in the kill does land it on top of Neo, and it does look like it will be the catch on top of Apollo. Over the wall, Kyo, he's looking for the stun, can't quite find the barcode, but that's also the Tranquility now down from D Blank. We got a ping on top of these bruisers. It's a fantastic call. They still have the numbers advantage because the Tychus is coming back to this one. He cleans up a little bit there in mid, and now we're going to steal out these bruisers. It's not quite the steal of the boss or the turnaround play from the Vultures, but it will keep them relevant into this game. And now that the Tyrael is down, yeah, sure, the Illidan is back up, but it is a 5-on-4 advantage. The Vultures should 100% contest this. As long as they don't get caught on rotation, they should be able to put this tribute in their pocket. Michael Udao's not interested in coming down. It doesn't look like we have a Hinterlands and nothing else to really stop this. So finally, a tribute to the Vultures. That will be good for them. This is like the becoming. This is like the start of the comeback. This is becoming a comeback, and we'll have to see if they can actually continue on with a little bit of this poke and trade. Now remember, Kael'thas was banned out because his level 16 is ridiculous. We're about to see level 20s though, and 20 Illidan with the permanent metamorphosis, the extra judgment, or the hardened. It'll be judgment into hardened, or the improved judgment from Apollo to start things off. We're likely to see redemption, and King Plato, I want to say, will take the better Hinterland's Blast. 25% more damage, I believe. So that plus, it's because of the overdrive. That plus the overdrive just absolutely murders some of these squishies. And he's been landing them fairly consistently. If he can keep putting them on top of Zarathustra in the back, on top of the D-Blank, D-Blank does have the Ice Blot, so yeah, you're going to be looking for it on top of the Jaina. But the fight does kind of start out. We throw down a few heroics. We got the Avatar out of the Mirrodin, but we did disengage with the Bright Code, with that Brightwing, with the Barcode Brightwing, and that Emerald Wind. We don't want to fight until 20. That's why we're disengaging. Could the Kappa Wolves take the fight? Probably. Do they want to risk it? No. And because of their global presence, they're able to go from top to bottom. Toot sweet. And they do have themselves the second curse of the game. This is where we want to get big, and this is where we want to get gutsy. Level 20. We got, now, again, it is going to be that hardened shield from the Tyrael. He's going to be looking for that jump into the back. There it is. Michael Udo there, and the crispy taco is good. Zarathustra will live even through the blood for blood. Apollo just could not take him down, and now Neo is going to be a target here as well. A lot of its temporary hit points still on this Illidan. Big divine shield. Gizmo's going to drop. We do got the ice block there, but no tranquility. It's already been used out. D-Blank has nothing left in the tank. He is going to drop. Apollo was tanking out the core, and it's not going to be quite the kill on him. And already you can see the Emerald Wind coming back up. With 2 down and a naked cursed core, this is a likely game for the Kappa Wolves, as they are just going to be continuing to play around here in the back with the rest of the defenders, but the core is dropping 30%, 20%. It is donezo. Kappa Wolves will put up the first point in this best of 3 with their double support Illidan rounds. It's a scary comp, man, I tell you that, but we'll have to see what Game 2 has in store for the FKC. It was a good comp. The early support pick with the Brightwing, and basically forced the FKC and Insane Vultures to pick up the Uther early, and they didn't. Of course, they had no idea that this was coming, So, of course, it was a little bit off guard that it kind of happened like that. But the double support, you don't see it a ton right now. It has kind of fallen out of the meta. But double support Illidan's are still virtually... you need a lot of lockdown. And we didn't really have a ton of lockdown. You saw a lot of free movement. You saw cleanse even there as well. 2 cleanses could have been possible here if the last pickups here from the FKC were actually like big lockdown characters. And double cleanse is, especially against a team with that many stuns and an Illidan, it's absolutely insane. So the pick-off potential with the Tyrael, judging into the Hinterland's Blast with the overdrive, with the, I don't remember what the level 20 town called it, but the improved Hinterland's Blast, absolutely 100% wrecked the Jaina. Jaina had no way to really do anything except taking Ice Block, and she didn't. She took Sprint. The Ice Block might have made the big difference. We saw Malfurion with it, but the improved Ice Block would have negated a lot of that. You can negate the Judgment, and you can negate the follow-up Hinterlands with it all within that cooldown, if you time it out right. But with the Sprint, instead, you saw she got stunned, she got destroyed. Wasn't really a much of a factor in a lot of these fights. The Malfurion at pick, I think, did phenomenal. His sustain is absolutely unmatched when it comes to a one-on-one sustain war. But Tychus, I mean, early game Tychus didn't really contribute a lot. We saw that quick 3 tribute curse and the boss because we didn't really have Tychuses in those early ones. And that's something, again, to the Kappa Wolves' credit. They took double global presence. You saw the fly used so many times. And then wherever Falstad could fly, the Brightwing would almost always follow because he would fly down or he would fly to a Merc camp, and that would lead us into double bribe or single bribe, and you kill the other one. So there was just a lot of map presence on a big map like this. I think Kappa really did win out that draft. The double support, the double global, and the crispy taco rolled out very nicely, and they take themselves game number 1.